We've been handling you with kid gloves up until now, Cyclops. Quote, Captain America, X-Men, Volume 1, Issue 9. Enter the Avengers. In the Northern Atlantic, a freighter is on the collision course with an iceberg. Suddenly, two red beams of light shoot out from the front of the ship and destroy the iceberg. Scott Summers and the rest of the X-Men head back to their cabin before anyone can see the strange light came from. The X-Men attend to Scott, who became wary after having to use his powers so rigorously. Scott explains to the other X-Men that Professor Xavier had told him they had a mission in Europe. Suddenly, another transmission from Professor Xavier comes in, telling his students that he has located his foe, Lucifer, in a cave in the Balkan. He tells the X-Men that he wants them to come to the cave. If he is unable to stop Lucifer, they can finish him off. Professor Xavier enters the cave but is engulfed by a cyclone that places him in front of Lucifer. Professor Xavier pulls a gun on Lucifer but learns that if he pulls the trigger, the world will be doomed. The X-Men arrive in a Bavarian village. The Avengers arrive just behind them because they are investigating strange impulses detected by Thor's hammer. Lucifer reveals to Professor Xavier that he has built a thermal detonator attached to his heartbeat. If he is harmed or killed, it will blow up, causing worldwide damage. Lucifer knows that the X-Men have arrived in Europe, so he fires an ionic ray at them. Professor Xavier warns his students of the incoming ray, and they dodge it. He tells the X-Men of Lucifer's bomb, and Lucifer cannot be harmed. The Avengers arrive and want to destroy the menace detected by Thor's hammer. Cyclops asserts his leadership to the X-Men, emphasizing that they should not interfere as the mission is theirs alone. Captain America interjects, proposing collaboration, stating, "We fight for the same cause. Let's join forces." Thor, however, issues a warning expressing skepticism about potential differences in motives and cautioning that attempting to stop them may lead to conflict. Meanwhile, Iron Man wonders why encounters with other groups always escalates into battles, and the rest of the X-Men recognize the formidability challenge presented by the Avengers. Thor's hammer tracks Lucifer's, and the decision is made to completely destroy it. Iron Man emphasizes impatience, questioning the delay, dismissing the notion that a group of mere teenagers like the X-Men could hinder the Avengers. However, the invisible mental image of Professor X reappears, instructing the X-Men to stop the Avengers and emphasizing that Lucifer and us must not be harmed. A battle is initiated between the X-Men and the Avengers, with Cyclops pledging not to fail Professor X. Marvel Girl contemplates the daunting challenge, wondering how they could possibly stop the Avengers in the name of heaven. Thor declares an end to the talk, stating that his hammer shall lead them to the one they must destroy. Cyclops insists on explaining and warns them to stay back. Disregarding the warning, the X-Men move forward, prompting Cyclops to command, "X-Men, attack at will." Cyclops directs an optic beam at Thor's hand, knocking the hammer into Iron Man, initiating the fight. Captain America expresses reluctance to harm the X-Men, asserts that no one gets away with attacking the Avengers, even those who call themselves X-Men. He winds up to throw his shield at Angel, who is attempting to lift Thor's mighty hammer, but finds himself unable to, as only a select few can wield it. Captain America's shield misses Angel, who takes to the air and starts heading towards Beast. In a swift move, Beast uses agility to snatch Captain America's shield with his feet, preventing the shield from reaching its intended target. As Beast seemingly succeeds in catching Captain America's shield, Giant Man suddenly appears, snatching the shield away and reprimanding the young mutant, stating, "Do not take things that do not belong to you." In response, Beast cheerfully retorts, "Giant Man, would you mind modulating your voice to a softer pitch? The renaissance from your oversized larynx is virtually deafening." The battle rages on, with Iceman attempting to contain Giant Man in ice after releasing Beast. Meanwhile, the Wasp heads straight towards Marvel Girl. Iron Man, recognizing an ongoing attack to Iceman, hesitates, unwilling to shoot at a teenager. In another part of the skirmish, Angel and Thor engage in fierce combat. In a strategic move, Captain America swiftly carries Cyclops over his head, preventing him from using his optic blast. The clash intensifies, marking a formidable fight between the young X-Men and the experienced Avengers. This showdown between two iconic superhero teams proves to be a battle for the ages. In the midst of the intense battle, the Wasp seizes the opportunity and grabs Marvel Girl's hair, skillfully wrapping it around to hinder her from using telekinesis. Simultaneously, Iron Man and Beast collide in a powerful clash, adding another layer of intensity to the ongoing skirmish. The conflict between the X-Men and the Avengers takes a dramatic turn as individual members grapple with their adversaries using their unique abilities and tactics. Lucifer laughs after seeing the two groups fighting each other. Professor Xavier uses the distraction to mentally knock Lucifer unconscious without changing his heartbeat. As the battle rages directly directly overhead, the X-Men continue to fight valiantly in an uphill struggle. Captain America voices the increasing impatience of the Avengers, stating, "We've been handling you with kid gloves up until now, Cyclops, but we're beginning to lose our patience." Cyclops contemplates the urgency, realizing we can't stop until we hear from the professor. Marvel Girl shares her growing concern, thinking, "How much longer can my telepathic power help? My head is splitting now." Meanwhile, Iron Man remains undeterred by rocks flying towards him, and the Beast expresses a longing for communication from Professor X, wishing the telepathic guidance their leader would reach them again. The tension escalates as both teams grapple with the challenges of the ongoing battle. Just as Thor is about to smash Iceman's ice cube, which shields him from the impending attack, Professor X intervenes, utilizing his telepathic abilities. Professor X communicates directly with Thor, revealing crucial information that alters the course of the impending confrontation. Professor X explains to Thor the necessity of preventing the attack on Lucifer due to the bomb attached to his heart. Thor, responding through a mental conversation where Professor X acknowledges the unmistakable ring of truth in the explanation. He commends the X-Men for the wise actions and recognizes the importance of their skills over brute strength in the upcoming challenges. Thor expresses the understanding that based on the information provided, the X-Men abilities are crucially needed in the unfolding events. The unwarranted battle reaches an inconclusive end, and Thor, in a decisive move, utters the mighty words, "Avengers assemble!" Stretching out his arms, Thor signals an end to the hostilities. He suggests allowing the X-Men to handle their foe in their own manner, considering the possibility that the opponent may have already been defeated. The Avengers reach a consensus, agreeing to Thor's proposal and opting to let the X-Men deal with the situation as they see fit. The Avengers depart from the battle, but the X-Men were unaware of how much longer they could have continued facing the Avengers. Despite the uncertainty, the X-Men have a pressing task at hand, as Cyclops reaches out, calling them out as this situation unfolds. Professor Xavier commends the X-Men for their honorable performance in their recent events, but he emphasizes that their final task lies ahead, guiding them through mental impulses. He instructs the team to head towards Lucifer's lair, urging them to act swiftly. He directs them to the mouth of the cave directly ahead, advising them to take the left fork once inside. The X-Men prepare to face the ultimate challenge with the guidance of their leader. Following a breathtaking descent into the unknown, the X-Men reach their destination. However, Professor X doesn't have luxury of time to offer explanations. Understanding the imminent danger, he urges the team to hurry, knowing that a bomb will detonate if they don't act swiftly. The urgency of the situation propels the X-Men into a race against time to confront the impending threat. As they ascend to the top of the bomb, Professor X briefs his X-Men about the problem that lies ahead. Realizing the gravity of the situation, he decides they must remove the fuse using sheer mental prowess. Professor X acknowledges that he might be able to locate the fuse with his telepathic abilities, but he also notes that his thoughts alone may not be powerful enough to affect a lifeless object of that sort. The X-Men brace themselves for the challenging task that awaits them in preventing the bomb's detonation. The crucial project commences as Project Xavier focuses on intensely to locate the fuse. His mental probes delve deep into the very heart of the innermost core of the gigantic explosion device. The powerful mutant brain of Xavier works meticulously, aware that even the slightest miscalculation or error could potentially trigger a catastrophic holocaust. The stakes are high as the X-Men, under the guidance of Professor X, engage in perilous endeavor to prevent a catastrophic event. As the X-Men focus on the task at hand, something inexplicably occurs. The bomb seems to come alive, thriving as if a mystical power endowed. Professor Xavier, connected to the bomb through his mental powers, is puzzled as to why it's starting to detonate. Amidst the uncertainty, Beast communicates to Professor X, reassuring that he's not his fault, rather it's Lucifer's doing. Beast explains that Lucifer's heartbeat is growing weaker, hinting at the true cause of the impending detonation. The X-Men now grapple with the revelation, the urgency to address Lucifer's failing condition. The severity of the situation becomes clear as revealed that the bomb is aimed at the heart of Antarctica. If detonated, the entire frozen continent will face decimation within a matter of split seconds. The consequences are dire as the oceans of the world would transform into monstrous waves, instantly cascading mountains of water and destroying everything in their path. The X-Men must act swiftly to prevent the catastrophic event. prevent and avert the potential devastation of the frozen continent and its global repercussion. The gravity of the situation intensifies as it becomes evident that no area on Earth will be safe from the impending disaster. Thunderous tidal waves are poised to engulf the coastlines of every continent, making it the worst disaster ever to strike the human race. The X-Men face a race against time to prevent the detonation of the bomb and avert the catastrophic consequences that would follow, sparing humanity from unparalleled devastation. Professor Xavier issues a critical directive, emphasizing that only the X-Men can prevent the impending catastrophe. He reveals that he has located the man whose heartbeat controls the deadly fuse, identifying Scott Cyclops with a pivotal task. Xavier warns the probing has sensitized the situation with the fuse on the verge of going out. With urgency in the air, Professor X instructs Cyclops to use his full power, narrowing it to a hairline intensity. The precision required is paramount, as Cyclops must direct the energy straight down, holding a steady position. The guidance becomes specific, with Xavier providing meticulous instruction. 2 millimeters to the left, easy, 1 millimeter to the right. Hold it, hold it. The fate of preventing the catastrophic events rests on Cyclops' ability to execute the task with the utmost precision and speed. As the X-Men breathlessly combine their powers, the deadly giant bomb begins to have and throb. About to perform the unthinkable mission it was designed for, the strain on the team grows and greater. Professor Xavier urges them to stay calm, emphasizing that it's now or never, and they mustn't quiver. He reassures them that the fuse is directly below, just a few inches further. With steady determination and unwilling focus, Cyclops directs his beam with laser-like precision. In a critical moment, the beam goes through the bomb, destroying the fuse. The X-Men successfully avert the catastrophic event, demonstrating their unity and skill in the face of immense danger. The mission is accomplished, and the threat of the deadly bomb is neutralized. With the bomb successfully defused, Professor Xavier mentally reaches out to Lucifer. Upon awaking, Lucifer reveals that it took him a decade to create the bomb. Xavier, acknowledging the gravity of their actions, informs Lucifer that he lost the permanent use of his legs during the mission. In contrast, Lucifer brushes off the setback, mentioning that he only suffered a minor setback, emphasizing the stark contrast in the cost paid by both parties in their encounter. The X-Men leave Lucifer alone in his own cave, telling him that there is no place on Earth he can go to escape the retribution of the X-Men. Notes: in X-Men #1, Professor Xavier says that he lost the use of his legs in a childhood accident. The full origin of how Professor Xavier lost the use of his legs is given in X-Men 20. This issue features a full-page pinup of Marvel Girl, artwork by Jack Kirby, Chick Stone, Art Simek, and Sam Rosen. The Avengers appear in the page of this series for the first time. The Beast will join the Avengers in Avengers #137. Credits: savagely written by Stan Lee, supremely drawn by Jack Kirby, Superply inked by Chick Stone, stoically lettered by Sam Rosen. References to Fantastic Four, issue 31. The issue states that Professor X is located underneath at the Balkan Mountains. Then the story takes place in a Bavarian village and says that Professor's below them in the mountainside, presumably the Bavarian Alps. These are two different locations. Bavaria is located in Germany and the Balkan Mountains are located in Bulgaria. Next issue, X-Men Volume 1, Issue 10, The Coming of Kazar.